I'm here today in Saxmundham in Suffolk to have a look at a horse which I first encountered in the sort of winter of 2015-2016. She's a nice bay mare called Polaris. When I first saw her, she was a tiny, probably only 12 hands yearling. The weather was very poor and she was fly grazing on a field on the Purley Way in Croydon. I was really shocked at her condition. She had a very thick winter coat, but underneath that coat she was just skin and bone. Running my hands over her was just like feeling a skeleton underneath that hair. Her coat was poor. She was suffering from a parasitic infection of her coat, probably lice and probably worms. And when the veterinary surgeon arrived, she agreed that the horse could not stay there. She was suffering or likely to suffer anyway if she stayed there any longer. The rescue of such horses as Polaris is one thing, but the rehabilitation is another. Not only is it time consuming, it's extremely expensive to rehabilitate the horse, and we rely totally on donations from our supporters and members of the public for us to carry out this type of work. The way she looks today is absolutely magnificent. I wouldn't have recognised her apart from the markings of her head and the way her mane falls over. She's an absolute credit to the staff at World Horse Welfare Glenderspooner Farm, who went through extensive rehabilitation with her. For me, as a World Horse Welfare field officer, after the recovery and the rehabilitation, the next and probably the most vital part is that of our rehomers. Without rehomers, World Horse Welfare would not be able to continue to take in horses.
We had a thoroughbred filly which was born here, and we needed another filly to run with her when we weaned. We were absolutely taken by what we saw, and she arrived a week or so later. All the veterinary checks had been completed by the organisation. We were very pleased when she arrived. She stepped off of the horse box after a long journey and she was at home. And ever since then, she has been part of the family and the rest of the horses that we have. And she thinks that sometimes she's a thoroughbred racehorse, but she enjoys so much being here, and we can enjoy her also.
She's very quiet, very amenable. She'll do anything for you. She's just got an amazing, gentle character.
Well, now that we know the full history of what happened to her, where she came from and how Nick found her, we are very surprised that she has turned out the horse that she is, the conformation, the quality of horse. She's very, very special. And it's thanks to Nick and your organisation which have been able to save a lovely horse.
I feel proud to be part of an organisation that can continue to care for horses even after they've been rehomed. Now Polaris is in a caring home where she will be looked after and have a home for life. We couldn't manage to do what we do at World Horse Welfare unless we were able to rehome the horses that we recover.